This conference will now be recorded.
Okay, so this course is mainly targeted at population who are very new to coding. They don't know anything of SQL. They don't know anything of Python. They don't know anything of Power BI. They don't understand visualization. It's okay. Still, everything can be learned in this course because everything will be taught from scratch, like how to get data, how the data looks, how to understand a SQL, okay, how to retrieve data from database, how to write simple SQL queries, and then how to get into like common table expressions, the difficult ones. Okay, how to make joins, all those things. And even with when playing with CSV files, Excel files, also even you don't understand how to get data from multiple Excels into a single Excel, how to make joins among them. Everything will be taught here. So it's like you don't need to worry about any pre-background knowledge that you need. Everything you will learn by the end of this course. You will finish Python up to the concepts of object oriented programming, and all the things are learned here, like using Anaconda Jupyter notebook, and all the material will be shared with you, and you will be taught everything, and you can practice. You can ask me questions if you have anything, and there is no problem. You can ask me any small question or a big one, and I'll be patient enough to help you out in understanding that problem. And other than Python, you will learn Pandas as well. Pandas is a data transformation module within Python. So to understand Pandas, you should understand the fundamentals of Python, because without knowing Python, if you learn any other module, it isn't of much use. Because if you don't understand what is a list tuple set dictionary, the data structures within Python, it wouldn't help you much in future when you want to learn something like other than Pandas. Suppose you want to do automation using Python, you can learn the module of Selenium in future. If you want to do some data science, you can learn Matplotlib or scikit-learn, or you can do some other data transformation, or you can learn NumPy as well. So it all depends on you learning today the fundamentals of Python, and later on you can learn what all modules in the world, so that you can do either data transformation, you can build your own front ends like using Django, Flask, all those things. But the fundamentals should be strong. And other than Python, we will be focusing on SQL, because if you are to work on data field without knowing SQL, it is impossible to retrieve data or to create tables and you dump data into databases. So the main target here would be we will learn PostgreSQL. Okay, we will install pgadmin for that. Don't worry about the installations. Everything will be taught to you, how to install, how to navigate. That will also be handled. You don't need to have any prior knowledge. So pgadmin will be installed on your machines, and you will be using PostgreSQL, how to create tables, and the SQL queries, everything will be shared with you. How to write SQL queries will be taught by me, and then finally all the queries are written in a notepad, which I'll show in some time, will be shared with you. You can practice. And the visualization tool that you will be learning, because nowadays it's not that one person will do data retrieval, it's not that one person will do data transformation using Pandas or something, and it's not that one person will do the visualization or reporting. It's like nowadays the jobs are moving towards one person can do anything. So you have to be, you when you want to be a data analytics or a data analyst person, as a role you are a data analyst, but when you do, it's a data analytics role where you retrieve insights from data. You play with millions of records within database, and you produce some insights about data, like you can show what is sale, what is revenue, what is profit, all those things, like which region we are doing better, which region we are not doing better, all those things. So how will you do reporting? So for doing reporting, you can either learn Tableau or Power BI, but in this course we are targeting Power BI because that is in the boom nowadays. And good, both are good, Tableau or Power BI. Any of it you can learn, but Power BI is like, because it is a Microsoft product, all the companies are mostly preferring that because of the AI as well in that. So that is about the course. Any questions now? I'll start next. Any questions, anyone? Okay,
No, we are
right,
clear with it.
right. So as I told you, the course is divided into three parts. One is like SQL, second one would be Power BI, and the third one would be Python. Okay, it's not in a particular sequence that you need to learn. So for you, tomorrow onwards, Power BI will be the first thing which will be taught to you, and thereafter it is PostgreSQL, I mean SQL, and then the final one would be Python for you guys. Okay, and for learning all these three courses, okay, if you learn Power BI, end of the day you need to know how to retrieve data from SQL and how to do data transformation using Python. So all the three are interdependent. Okay, when you connect to a database, you should retrieve data from database, and if you want to do transformation, if it is millions of records, you should do using Python, and if you want to do data transformation, you can use pandas, and finally visualization you can do in Power BI. So all the three go in hand for a data analytics person. Okay, right. So as I told you, if you see all the SQL queries, like if you see, I have created a database with you within PostgreSQL, okay, pgadmin. So there are multiple tables that are created here, and there is already a data loaded. I'll help you out load the data and how to create the tables, all those things, how to retrieve data, and then how to make joins and how to write common table expressions. So if you see this SQL document right now on the screen, I've written all the queries like, okay, create table queries, and then inserting data into tables, and then if you see, there are multiple SQL queries, how to retrieve data from SQL queries. Okay, these are like writing basic SQL queries. So if you see here, for every line, suppose line number 87, what does it do? For someone who doesn't know SQL completely, what does it do? It is retrieving data from Bollywood tables, and it is limiting the number of rows that we are retrieving to two. If you see on the above line, I have written a comment. This is a comment. Retrieve only two records of data from Bollywood movies table. Similarly, if you want to retrieve the entire data, this is like, this is the comment and this is the SQL query. So I've made the course in a way that if a layman also comes, if they don't understand how to do SQL also, they will learn by end of this course. So if you see, all the comments are written for all the queries, and then accordingly the SQL query is also written. Okay, if you see the entire lines, this is around 500-600 lines of SQL queries. Okay, and then these all queries will help you. If you see, if you want to manipulate data, delete data, if you want to do indexing, if you want to do some update, if you want to do insert, okay, and if you want to do common table expressions. Okay, one second. If you want to do common table expressions, what is a common table expression, all those. So if the query is a little tougher, if you see, it is going from here on till here, the query, what is the objective of the query? Okay, inside, okay, what is this line, what is this line? Okay, everywhere I've provided comments, so that you will not struggle when you are working or when you are trying to practice SQL queries. Okay, any questions on this? This will be learned in the course, just the demo that I'm showing today. Okay, and then the tool that we will be using, as I told you, it is PostgreSQL and pgadmin. I'll help you out install the software, and the only thing that you would require is a machine with a decent enough RAM, so that you can do your job, and you can practice while I'm teaching as well, or you can ask me questions when I'm teaching on the next day. Okay, then let me go. Okay, Anaconda. Just a moment, I'm opening Anaconda Navigator. This is a IDE for practicing Python. You would have already seen in YouTube, if you would have already explored, either the courses will be taught using Anaconda or generally PyCharm, or you can use any other IDE like Visual Studio Code, all of these. So it all depends on the end user, which one they prefer to do using Python, or if you don't want to install all of these softwares, you can just use Python IDE. That will also suffice. But using a IDE has some benefits which I will show you, and it is convenient to learn as well for a layman. If they are doing it for the first time, using a IDE is more comfortable. Just a moment, the software is opening. Okay, so within Anaconda you have multiple softwares again. Right now these all would not be needed. Okay, the one that would be focusing is Jupyter Notebook. You can launch. Okay, once you click on launch over there, it will be opened in your default browser. So I have kept it to Google Chrome. I'll tell you how to keep all those things. It's not a big thing. I'll teach you when you install Anaconda. So within this, now the entire Python course I have written into a notebook, which is called as a Jupyter notebook. So this Jupyter notebook from scratch, like defining a variable, a is equal to 1, b is equal to 1.5, or you write a c is equal to some true or false, which is a boolean, all those things, like how to write a comment, how to write multiple comments, how to write single line comment, everything. So with comments as well, like what is this? This is a markdown, this we are printing. So everywhere, all the nodes, if you see within this entire Python notebook, the first one would cover until data structures and a little of functions. Everything will be written here, and all these programs, like all these concepts will be taught to you. And then the second session in this, just a moment, it will take some time to load. So if you see how to write a list, how to write a tuple, okay, how to write a dictionary, then we will learn about nested dictionaries, okay, and then how does a API data look? How does a API data look, and within that, how is it similar to dictionary? How to retrieve dictionary? It API data generally looks like a nested dictionary because nowadays everything is in cloud, and when you try to retrieve data from API, it is in dictionary form, and within that list and tuples will be there. So how to retrieve all those, and how to write for loop, while loop within Python, because that is a major concept, because you have to loop through a multiple sets of data, how to read it. Okay, one second, let this open. Yep. So now if you see in this notebook also, we have all the concepts. One second. So this is API data. This is somewhat similar to API data. Okay. So within this data, how to read this data? What if I want to retrieve a particular ID? Within this, I want to retrieve a particular token. All those, how we are going to do. All this will be taught in this course, like what are the operators within Python. And you see, as I told you, data structures, looping techniques. And within this also, if you see, just a moment, what if you want to write if else conditions for loop, a range function. So everything is like, if you see, I've written notes here in the markdown, and then there will be concept. Okay, here you are seeing a for loop, nested for loop. Similar way, how to write functions. Okay, how to write functions, how to create your own modules. Okay, and then finally, how to use star arcs, keyword arcs. Okay, and then list comprehensions, all the concepts within Python, nothing will be left out. How to create your own modules. Okay, and then finally classes, how to write classes. Within classes also, again, oops concept, as I told you, object oriented programming, inheritance, multiple inheritance, polymorphism, encapsulation, hidden variables, private variables, all those. So if you see here, oops inheritance, okay, example for it. Again, further, if you see, multiple inheritance would be there, multiple inheritance. So all the concepts of Python will be taught, so that, and finally generator, iterator also, how to play with Python, how to read a text file, how to read a content within a text file. What if there is a log? which is causing an error without. So you can automate on your office or work wherein you can read in a particular location if there is a particular error, and then send notification to the required people. All those things, errors and exceptions. Is why is it needed? Lambda functions, filter function, reduce, iterator, generator. So all the concepts of Python which are needed. So the fundamentals should be strong, as I told you. So the entire Python concepts will be taught to you. And finally, once Python is taught, you will be learning about pandas. Okay. So within pandas also, if you see how to write series, how to write data frames, how to do merging, joining, concatenating. You don't worry about all this. I'll explain even if you don't know anything about what is a join, all those. So if you see how to read the tables, okay, all those things, and there will be comments for everything. One second. So if you see player info, okay, how to retrieve, how to, this is somewhat like retrieving at the age of 25, less than age of 25, and then who players who are having age of less than 25, who are having a salary of more than 1 million. Okay, all the subjects within pandas will be taught to you. So even this also, all the notebooks like ipython notebook, if you see, this is an extension ipynb. These are all the notebooks like series, data frames, group by, join, merge, concatenating, playing with text data, all these things. So all these notebooks will be taught to you. So this is what will be covered, and everything is written here in the, what do you say, website link also, which our institute would have given, or else this course content is also pasted over there. You can have a look. So this is about Python and SQL. Any questions, anyone? Like what you are expecting, or you have any basic question also is fine. You can be interactive. Okay,
Hi,
Did we
sir.
get a minute?
go ahead, sir.
Sir,
Go ahead.
this Python also work with automation testing.
Sir, for automation testing, when you are saying, you are you referring to front end automation, sir, or back end, sir? Data automation or front end automation?
Front end automations.
Front end automation, Python fundamental is required for anything, sir. So you should understand a variable, you should
Mm,
understand listed tuple set. So the fundamental concept, as I told you within the session 1 and session 2, this it I named it like that, but these two only, it will take you some like 10-15 hours of course. So that fundamental is required for anything, sir. On top of it, on top of Python, if you want to do front end
mhm,
automation, you should learn Selenium, sir. Selenium is a WebDriver which will help you in
mhm.
automating front-end tools. Like suppose you want to, I'll tell you an example, which is right
Mm.
away, right now, very difficult. Like if you have a website link, like you are having a tool in your office, is there any front-end tool that you are using in your office, sir?
Yeah, yes, sir.
Yeah. So that front-end tool in the background, suppose you see there will be any HTML for it. Okay,
Mm,
you need to
mm,
read this HTML using Selenium, and then using Python as a variables, you should define, okay, which is the button I should click, how to click, all those. So that module of Selenium would be required for you when you are doing Selenium automation using Python. So but
mm,
end of the day, Python is the fundamental that you should know. After that only you can do automation using Selenium.
okay, okay.
But HTML reading would be required for that, that you will learn. It is not a big deal, but knowing programming language is important. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Actually, I have experience in PT. So some guys are asking for interviews.
Your voice broke, sir.
So that's why I am asking.
Okay.
Now,
Yeah,
sir.
yeah. Yeah, I am audible. You're
Actually,
audible, sir. You're audible now. I got your question. So, knowing Python will help you out, sir. Nowadays, knowing Python has become default. Everyone will expect you to know Python. But on top
yeah,
of
yeah.
it, okay, what you know? You know data
Mm,
transformation. Do you know pandas? Do you know automation? Do you know Selenium? Do you know to create a front end using Django Flask? That is where it has gone to. Okay, 7-8 years back, knowing Python was new, but nowadays everyone should know the modules on top of it also.
okay,
That's where knowing Python is
okay,
important. Okay. Yes,
okay.
madam. Nisarga, you were asking
Yeah,
something.
Yeah, I have two doubts. One is, will we get the notes for this,
Yes, madam. Everything will
day-to-day
be shared with
notes?
you. Yeah. All see right now, whatever I'm showing on the screen, everything will be sent to your machine. If you are new, you don't know how to open also, I will explain in the class how to open the notebook, how to execute the notebook, how to read the notebook. Everything will be taught to you. All the material will be shared with you. You can practice what I'm teaching as is, or you can do more also.
Yeah, so I can see the programmatic notes, but I'm saying in the class if there is some more theory or some concept. So
A
that
good
is also,
question, madam. So that is
yeah.
what is the USP about my teaching. I don't keep any PPT or Word document in my classes. It's all practicals. I believe in doing work so that people will learn. So everything which I am going to teach in 50 hours of our 50 hours of our course, I will do everything in practical only. I will never do anything in PPT. And whatever is there, I will share with you. You can practice, and everything will be written in comments only. That is the good part here within the class. And end of the day, all the recordings will be shared with you guys, so it will be uploaded into a YouTube link, and that will be shared with you. You can go through my video again and again whenever you have time. Did I
Okay,
answer
so
your
you
question?
mean there is no technical concept-wise notes, it's just the coding we have to understand.
you, I will explain the concept, why is it needed, all those things. And I have made a few PPT, like, okay, but I don't dwell on PPT. I don't waste my time on reading through. Instead, I will show that, and I will write the program on my screen, so it is easy for you to correlate whenever in future.
Okay. And the second question is, if we are interested in just Power BI, is it
Hmm.
the
There
same
is a
course?
course, madam, already. No, there is a separate course for Power BI, which
Uh-huh.
we will teach only Power BI in that. That is also
Oh,
going to start from tomorrow only. But the demo is common. Like today, I teach Power BI demo, and yesterday also I had a Power BI demo. The classes will
okay.
start from tomorrow for Power BI. Only Power BI. That course will be there, and data analyst also will be combined. They will have extended course. Other than Power BI will be taught for them.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Yes. Okay. Anyone else? Okay. Right. Good. So I will close this. So I won't waste my RAM. Okay. The third thing that we will learn in this course is Power BI. Okay. And you see all these visualizations, this PBIX, I will not just open this and show you. So everything will be built from scratch. Assume, let's go into one Power BI each. So then you will understand everything. Good USP about our course is like we do everything in practical from basic to end. So the student by the end of this course, if he goes or works somewhere, he's doing in his project or a new project that he's taking up, looking at my videos are he should understand 80 to 90% of things, and the rest 10%, if there is something new that he needs to do, if he does simple Google, it should help him out. So I feel in practicality where people can learn more. Yeah. One second, this is opening. So here, as you know, Power BI is a Microsoft product, and if you just type in Google as Power BI download, it'll take you to Microsoft link, and within the downloads you will have the option to download. Okay, I'll help you out on downloading and installing Power BI, not a big thing. Once you install this, if you want to practice, Power BI is stress free. If you want to publish, okay, that is where I will go into license. I'll explain you all those. If you want to publish, suppose Nisarga is doing some work in Power BI, she wants to publish, and Arvind wants to view it, that is where you want a minimum license. That would be a pro license, but that will be needed in office. But right now, this Power BI which I've built, I'll share it to you in the Google Drive, and you guys can download from there, and you can just connect to the data source, which I'll explain how to do, or you can replicate what I've taught in the class again, so that it will be a kind of practice, and you can do something more in the visualizations also. So suppose right now, this is a data set of some amazing mart which is in UK. So one second. So this is the data set. Okay, Excel file, order breakdown and list of orders. If you see the name here, order breakdown and list of orders. And within Power BI also, you see I've connected to list of orders and orders breakdown. So here within Power BI, we can connect it to multiple data sources. You can connect to, like if you click on the more button, you can connect to file systems, which are Excel, text CSV, XML, JSON, or Parquet file, SharePoint folder, all those things. If you connect to, I'll teach you Excel and CSVs. And then if you connect to databases, right now we will install Postgres database within our course. So we will connect to Postgres database, but any database connection is only little different. So they will have a different credentials. If you do one database, the other database wouldn't be that difficult, and it depends on your office or your workspace where whichever database they are using. Few people use Snowflake, few people use Oracle, few people use Postgre. So it is all dependent on them. But once you connect to a database, later on it is all the same thing. And if you see, if you want to connect to an Azure cloud, you can connect using Azure, and everything, whatever is there in the globe right now, all the data sources you can connect through Microsoft Power BI. So once you connect, it is all simple. Either you connect to a CSV or an Excel, or you connect to a database, the data will show something like this on the right hand side. Once you know how to get the data, then the transformation part, if you see in the mod, so within Power BI, just a moment, within Power BI right now, okay, this is called as report view. This all will be taught in future, like in the class in full detail. Don't worry about that. For the demo, report view, table view, third one is model view. Within the model view, once you click, all the data sources and columns will be very visibly clear to you. And okay, what is a join? If you, some of you don't understand what is a join also, so you will be taught what are joins. So it is fundamental that SQL joins should be known. So SQL, either you do SQL, or you do Python, or you do pandas, or you do Power BI, or you do Tableau. End of the day, knowing joins is more important. So if you see SQL joins, this is called as a left join. This will be all taught in concept, like, okay, what is the data set, how it is called as a left join. This is called inner join, right join. This is left only join, right only join, full outer join. This is accepting the intercept A and B. So all these join concepts will be taught to you, because this is fundamental. We should know the joins. And once you know the join within Power BI also, how am I connecting two different tables? Okay, if you see cardinality is many to one, cross filter direction. What is it? Why am I taking a column? What is this table? All this will be taught to you. And if you see, okay, once you make that model view, how am I making the data? If you see, okay, I have latitude, longitude also. I have made a map. Suppose you want to focus only on Austria. Once you click on Austria, it will give you only Austria region data. Okay. If you click on France, okay, it is focusing only on France. If I want to focus only on Spain, okay, Spain. So from this data set, okay, from this simple data set, how I could make this visual. Okay, similar way. Okay, I want to do a sales by region. I want to focus on country map, pie diagram. If someone, it all depends on the organizational requirements, what they want to see. And if you see sales, okay, and if you want to see number of orders, okay, within orders by region, by country, by state, by city. If you click on south, automatically the other graphs will also modify. What is this is called cross highlighting. If I want to focus only on central, if you see, the data is modifying for central region. So all this, how you can do. This is one particular data set of some amazing mart in UK. I've downloaded the data set from Google. So all this data set and models will be shared with you, and the concept, like how to build all this, will be shown to you, so that you can practice and you can do even more basing on my teachings. Okay, any questions, sir? I'll open the next one. You can ask me. Okay, so let me cover a little on license. So when you are working in an organization, okay, the minimum license that you would have is a pro license, which is $10 per user, and your organization will get it for cheaper because they'll buy it for more people. And $10 for one user. So suppose I am working in an organization, I want to publish my report into workspace. It is called as a workspace. I want to publish my report. Once I publish my report, Arvind or Shivam or Nisarga or Anuj, anyone wants to see it, They can click on that report and they can view that report if they have a pro license. If they don't have, they will not be able to see. So sharing using a workspace, you need a minimum license called as a pro license. And how many times you can refresh the data within a pro license is 8 times in a day. Okay. If you want to do, and a single PBIX file, which is like, okay, this is a PBIX file. Right now, this is 454 KB. Suppose you are playing with millions of records. There is something called as an import mode and a direct query mode, which I'll be teaching you guys as well. So now, okay, what if I want to connect in an import mode? You're having 30-40 million records of data. Your file will become around 800-900 MB. So when this file, PBIX file, it becomes more than 1 GB. With a pro license, you cannot publish into workspace. The maximum workspace in a pro license is 10 GB that you will get, and each individual file of Power BI should be maximum 1 GB only. So what if you exceed that limit of 1 GB for a single file? Then you need to buy premium license, which is around $20 per user. Now the problem with premium user, my file is 1 GB, more than 1 GB. Suppose I am publishing it using a premium license, so the other person who's viewing it also should have a premium license. So now the company should pay all of us $20 individually. Okay, if they are not paying $20 individually, they can buy a premium workspace, which is $3,000. So it is all about money. Then why to use an import mode? Why not use a direct query wherein I prepare my Power BI using directly connection to SQL? So if I show you this import mode and this direct query mode, both are connected to same database. Okay, which I will open and show. Both are connected to same database, but end of the day, this is import mode wherein I have imported the data from SQL into my Power BI. The file size is 173 KB. And this one, I made a direct connection to database. I did not import the data. This is 21 KB. You see right now, straight away it is 150 KB of data saved. So similar way, if you are having a database which is called as a Postgre or Snowflake or Oracle, you make a direct query connection. You don't need to buy a premium license. You can survive with direct query mode. But end of the day, when you're using direct query, your performance will be a little slower. So you need to spend on your database. So that is the organizational trade-off that they want to do. Either they want to buy a premium license or they want to enhance their power of database. Okay, that is too much of concept for you, which will not be needed. That will be taken care by the organizational and the architects. But that is about the license. Any question on license, anyone? But for you to practice, there is no need of any license. You can happily download, do what, how many your visualizations you want to. Any questions, anyone? Okay, right. Now let's open this direct query. This I've connected to our Postgres database. Just for understanding how to connect to database, I've done this. There will be not much visual in this, but rest of the things I'll show you. There are few good visualizations which will help you out to understand. And Power BI, every month there will be some or the other update they will be giving. If you see at the bottom, they are showing me that you have some update to download on the right hand side bottom. So it's up to you. You can download, or there won't be much major changes. Only they'll be moving visuals from top to the right or such kind of things. If there is some major update, anyways, you will get to know. Not a big thing. So this is a direct query mode. I've just connected. If you see here, okay, this is all directly connected to direct query. So the thing that you will see missing in my previous report, there was something called as a table view that is missing now. When you connect to direct query mode, this is called as a, you won't have the table mode. You will have only visualization mode, report view, and then the model mode. So this is directly connected to the database. And if you see recent sources more, come on. Okay, I'll show you here. When you click on transform data, what is transform data, how to write measures, which I should cover next. Just a moment. So if you see, I've connected directly to PostgreSQL. Okay, then the host, and then what is the table, what is the SQL query, all those things. Okay, similar way query 2. Okay, what is the table, what is the select query, and then third one also, what is the table and then what is the SQL query. I'm just filtering out Shahrukh Khan here, all those things. So this is direct query mode where you directly connect to database and retrieve data. Okay, let me show you something more. This Power BI that I'm opening is of recent World Cup, which was played in India. So the data set is somewhere here, this points table, matches table, deliveries table. These three tables are connected into this Power BI. Let it open. I'll explain more. So using these three data sets, okay, deliveries table, okay, matches table, and then points table. Okay, so this is points table wherein a simple table is there, and then the second one would be deliveries table. This one will give you more detail about every ball. Like, okay, suppose I want to see Virat Kohli within this. Okay, so his first match in the World Cup was match number 5, and it was on 8th of October. It was played in Chennai, and he came to strike on 6th ball of the first innings. He faced Mitchell Stark. He scored 0 runs of that ball, and if you see, he scored runs of 2.1 over first ball. I mean 2.1 ball. It was against Mitchell Stark. He scored 2 runs. Okay, so this is how we read this data. I will explain you, not a big deal. Now, if you see, there is nothing called sixes or fours within this data set. Okay, we have only runs of bat. Like each ball, how many runs this individual batsman has scored. If you see Bairstow on the second ball of the tournament, he scored a 6. So how to calculate 6, 4, boundary, all those things, how many wickets and all those things also we need to calculate. There is nothing called wickets also. Okay, right. Let me close this data set. And the one more data set we have, okay, like which team is facing which team and what is the venue and all those things. Okay, now once we should get this data sources into Power BI, which I have done in the model view. Okay, all the tables are connected. Now here if you see, this is one to many join, many to one. Okay, and this is many to many join. What is one to one, what is many to one, all this cardinality will be taught to you. And table view, if you see, this was missing in direct query, so all the three tables, it will be visible here. And then how to build this visualizations. Now you see, in the entire tournament, 23,000 runs were scored, around 23,500. Number of sixes is 644. Number of boundaries, how many wickets were taken in the entire tournament. If you click on Virat Kohli, it will show you only Virat Kohli statistics, like 765 runs, 9 sixes, 77 boundaries, 8 wickets. 8 times he has got dismissed. Rohit Sharma, 597 run, but he has scored 31 sixes, 97 boundaries. Okay, similar way, Quinton de Kock was the third highest run scorer. So all this entire batsmen, like suppose you want to see Travis Head, okay, and India, how many matches they have won, all this, and this is net run rate, a little bit more on the visualization, a positive, negative, okay, and then if you go to further more visualizations, okay, now if you see here, okay, how many matches were played across how many different stadiums. Suppose you want to see only Hyderabad, you click on Hyderabad, it will show you Hyderabad. You want to see Gujarat, Narendra Modi Stadium. Suppose you want to see West Bengal, Eden Gardens. How many matches, which team played, how many runs they have won, how many wickets by how many wickets they have won, who was the player of the match, all those things. And individual performance, if you want to see, okay, Virat Kohli was the top scorer, Mohammad Shami was the top wicket taker, Okay, how many times each player has got man of the match awards in the entire tournament? If you see, Travis Head has got 3 times man of the match award. Mohammad Shami has also got 3 times man of the match award. Similar way, this is using pie chart. This is table chart. This is column chart. This is aggregate chart. If you see, all which are there within Power BI will be taught to you in multiple visualizations. Suppose you want to see across teams, okay, how many runs they have scored, how many boundaries they have scored, how many sixes they have scored. And if you open it further, suppose this is bowling stats. Okay, who was the top wicket taker for Sri Lanka? It was Madhushenka. And if you want to see India, who was the top wicket taker? It should be obviously Mohammad Shami. Okay. Similar way, if you want to see in England, who was the top run scorer? It was David Malan. Second was Ben Stokes. So all this, how did I do using that data sets? How did I join? How did I do the visualization? How did I get this map? All those things. Okay. Any questions? Anyone? So
Hello,
this is one of the visualization.
am I audible?
Yes, sir. Go ahead, Shivam.
Yeah, Abhishek, I have this query. When we are connecting it directly through database, where we are
Mm,
transforming all the
a
things.
good question, sir. So next I would be teaching you that only. So now you will have three options to transform, sir. Okay. One is
Okay.
using transform data. Okay. When you
Mm-hmm.
have transform data here, you will have multiple steps. Suppose you see in this delivery table, I have applied multiple steps. Okay. Changing of type, then splitting a column, then renaming columns, sixes calculation, boundaries calculation, wickets calculation. So like this, you can do how many ever operations. And on the top, you see here, you have like direct buttons. That is the beauty thing about Power BI. You don't need to do any coding also. Keep row, remove row, split a column, use header as first row, all those things. Merge query, merge and append concept will be taught to you. Merge is like a joins, append is union of
Mm-hmm.
data, one below the other. Similar way, if you want to do some transformations, you can do pivot of data. You want to do unpivot also, you can do. You want to fill something, or you want to replace something, split column again. Or you want to do Python run script, which I will show you in one of the visualizations, how you can write Python within Power BI also. And if you want to add any column from example, custom column, invoke custom function, all this will also be taught to you. So there are many things within transform data which you can do directly within Power BI. When you connect to direct query, now the part is, how big is your database? How big is your table? Assume it is thousands of rows, no problem. Pull it into Power BI, do the transformations here. But if it is more than million, 2 million, 3 million, 10 million, 30 million, I do 30, 40 million connect of a single table in my Power BI. Then will Power BI be able to do the transformations? That is where the question comes in. So in that case, what you should do, you should do your transformations in database. Okay. Either use any transformation tool like Informatica, or you use ODI, or you use Alteryx, or some other data transformation tools. You can do transformations and bring the final table into Power BI when it is in millions of records. Or you can use the latest trending thing which is called DBT also, data build tool also. You can do data transformation, you can do that single table, you can connect when it is in millions of records. If it is few thousands of records, you can bring here happily, you can do your transformation. Okay. Second way you can do, wherein measures. This is one more beauty thing that we do in our course. So if you see, I have segregated the measures into low complexity, medium complexity, and third one would be high complexity. And if you see number of lines here, 170, this will have more than 100 measures. So all these measures with our data sets, I will teach you how to write distinct count from basic till going into variable expressions, or you do multiple calculate, related table. Okay. And then what if you want to write a switch function, nested if function, all those. So this data analysis expressions also will be taught to you. More than 100 measures will be taught to you. This is second way of doing. Third way of doing is, one second, using Python, pandas. Let me open this and then I'll explain you. Okay. Within transform data, as I told you, there will be an option to use Python script. Okay. So here for one data set as a sample, so that I should teach my students. Here you can write data transformation using Python pandas also. So I've used a simple transformations like multiplying multiple columns and set selecting only a few set of columns. So this is a list. I am choosing a data frame. I am multiplying more than two columns, all those. So you can do using Python scripting also. So once you learn Python pandas, you can do Python scripting within Power BI, or you can do just the plain transform data, or you can write how many ever measures that you want to write. Or you can, as I told you, if it is more than millions of record, you can use any data transformation tool like Informatica, ODI, Alteryx, or DBT, and you can do everything in your database only. Did I answer your question, sir?
Yeah,
Shivam,
thanks. Yeah.
anything else you had?
Uh, which one is the most efficient way, in your opinion?
So if you are having millions of records, sir, I would say
Mhm.
if your organization is using any data transformation tool, any among the, see, there might be any other data transformation tool also, which I'm not aware. These four are the most trending things, the most famous data transformation tool. Nowadays, DBT is also in craze. So
Okay.
you can use when it is in millions of record, do everything in your database only, the transformations, write it into a table, connect that table to Power BI and do your visualizations. If your data is in thousands, a very small set of data, you don't need database, you can directly connect to that table to Power BI. You can do your transformations here.
Okay. Thanks.
Okay. Yeah. So now this one, if you see, as I told you, this is Python sample visualization. There are multiple visualizations within Power BI directly available, but there is a Python visual also. If you see, this is a Python graph. Okay, at the bottom there is matplotlib that is used and there are graphs plotted. Similar way, if you see here, this is a violin chart. How did I do it? Again, Python. And if you see one more, a density should be there. Just a moment. This is just the line graph. One more is density. So this is a density chart. Again, Python here. So the main motive is like how how to use a Python visual also we are covering, so that you can do in future something like a data science project in future where you take up, someone will tell you, okay, I want a Python visual only. Is it needed? End of the day, but few organizations want it, so you can learn that here as well. So this is a Python sample. Just let me
So
close this.
the
Go ahead,
course will
madam.
cover, yeah, the Power BI course is also covered with Python fundamentals, right?
Fundamentals will not be taught, madam, because Python fundamentals itself will take you for 10 to 15 hours. Within Power BI, that this Python visual will be taught to you. This Python sample visual will be taught to you, but Python will not be taught.
Okay, is it sufficient to build the graph in Power BI? Graph
You,
or
I did not.
charts?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. If you see, end of the day, if you want to focus only on reporting, it's your take to learn only Power BI. If you want to become a good expert person wherein you can handle data on your own, you can do transformations on your own, you want to do reporting also, you want to become a complete package, then you should become a data analyst, no, first, then you will become a data scientist, like that. If you want to do everything, you shouldn't learn everything. If you just want to do reporting, it's just Power BI.
Okay.
Okay. So then customers data, it's your individual trade-off, madam. So because that question was brought up, Data analyst course, the last batch I took, it finished last week only. It took me 50 hours. Okay. All Python, Pandas, Power BI, and SQL. It took me 50 hours. For Power BI alone, it took me around 25, 26 hours. Okay. Even though we quote less, but actually it took me a little more to take in the session. So if you see, this is one more like a restaurant data that I hold. So in this, if you see, this is the detailed view wherein we are having the entire customer detail. Let it load. So I'm having a customer detail like ID, when did they register with us, first time they came, first name, last name, gender, are they married or not, email ID. Generally, we don't have that, but it is a cooked up data, no? So age, state, job, how many orders they are placing, what is the amount of orders paid, something like a Swiggy, you assume, wherein they have the entire customer detail. So according that, they can do analytics. So if you see by gender, okay, how many people are there, like what is the male population count, how many people are married, what is the amount that they are spending. If you see, this one will tell you the amount they are spending. If you see, this is a not married population of female, they are spending 37,000. If you see, this is like married population of female, they are spending around 14,000. So not married population are spending more. Similar way in male also, the spend statistics, so that accordingly they can target their population for coupon codes or promotions, so that we can make them buy more. So this is like all the charts, and if you see the numbers here, and this is called a slicer. Okay, what is difference between a slicer and a filter? This is filter, this is slicer. What is the difference? All those things will be taught in our sessions, and there is something called as sync slicers also. Why these are useful? Okay, all this. Okay, we have seen by gender, by profession also we'll see. Okay, who are the top spenders? Accountants are spending more for us. Okay, if you see, they are spending more, they have more money. Next will be who? Barbers. The data is somewhat odd. So how many orders are they are placing? And if you let everyone in, you see who is spending more. Okay, if you see, chef also are spending more. Order, gender, all this. This is aggregate chart. This is column chart. All these things. And one more. Okay, share price also. And one more thing is there, basics office supplies. That is more important. Just give me 5 minutes. I should finish the demo. I understand you guys have something else to do. And in this office supplies, we have written more than 100 measures, the measures that I was showing. So this is a data set. Let it load. This is a data set where we are having some data where we are a company, stationery company. We are selling multiple products like desk, pencil, pen set, all those things across regions. So if you see how to create all these graphs, like across region, what is the sale? What is the item that is getting sold the most? Who is the rep who is selling the most? Who is least performing? Who is highest performing? Which month we had more sales? According to promotion and the item, what is the value? Who is the reps manager? And how to create rank for each individuals, like Suzanne being the topmost, Josh being the least performer. How we can do all this? How suppose I want to see only West data, how I can drill through and see only West data? You see, this is only West data that is popping up. If I want to see, okay, if I want to see all the data, how I can do that? Okay, all these things, and these are called field parameters. What if I want to see only a few particular fields? I am seeing only order ID, order date. I want to see delivery date also. How to create these field parameters? all those things. So all this is built up on particular data set. And if you see model mapping also, it is little more. So all this, how to create all these tables, okay, how to make the joins, everything will be taught to you, and accordingly the visualizations. It is not a big deal. It is very simple once you learn how to do things. So how to create these visualizations. And one more thing is, this is share price of ITC from the time it launched into the market till December. So accordingly, what was the price last year, current year, last year date, today's date. If you see, you will get all these things here. Okay, previous month, previous year. When you play with data, you need to do all those calculations. Okay, 2023 December, it was a like share price holiday. What was the share volume? What is the price? All those things you will learn. So those are about the visualizations that are going to be taught using Power BI. And as I told you, Power BI is free. You can install and you can replicate what I do. All the material will be shared with you. All are practical sessions. I don't like to dwell much on PPT. So, and Python notebooks will be shared with you. Pandas notebooks will be shared with you. PostgreSQL will also be taught how to install, how to do write SQL queries. As I told you, DAX formulas will be shared with you for Power BI, and SQL queries also will be shared with you. And all the Python programming will also be shared in notebooks. So that is about the data analyst course. Thank you for joining demo. Hope to meet you again. Thank you. If you have any questions, you can ask.
Hello.
Yes, go ahead, sir.
Sir, did you provide the resume format also?
Resume, you need to speak to the institute, sir. I don't provide resume support, but might be institute can help you out on that. Speak to that group. Speak in that
Okay.
group. Tag Anita.
Mhm,
She might respond.
mhm, mhm. Yeah, actually, I'm a non-IT field, so
Hmm.
I'm converting to IT field now. So that's why I'm asking.
No. I get your question, but that is taken
Mm.
care by the institute. So just speak
Okay.
to institute
Okay.
like Kumar or
Okay.
Anita. They might tell you, but I teach the concepts. So my part is about
Okay.
the concept.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. Anyone else? Okay. So thank you guys. Thank you for joining. We'll meet again. Yep. Bye bye.
Thank you. Bye.